Hey guys, Mrs. Haynes again. Today we are going to be talking about comparing numbers. So we've learned about place value and tens and hundreds in one spot, and now we're going to talk about how we can use those place values to now compare numbers. So the first thing we need to talk about is these three little symbols, which you guys have done before, okay? So comparing numbers, we have a sign that when our mouth, our big part, is open to the left, we call that greater than. So our bigger number goes here and our smaller number goes here. So that's greater than. When our point is pointing to the left, that is a less than. So our smaller number goes here and our bigger number goes here. And then we have equal to, and that one's pretty easy because it has our equal sign, which we know about. Okay, so it's important that we know the names greater than, less than, and equal to, but it's also important that we understand what these symbols mean. So we've talked about before with like the alligator mouth, and the alligator wants to eat the bigger number. So that means our mouth is always open to our bigger number. Okay, so the bigger number goes here, the bigger number goes here, and then when it's equal to, both numbers are the same. Okay, so now let's talk about how we can use place value to help us in comparing numbers. So I have the numbers 241 and 361. So the first place that I want to look at is in my hundred spot, and that's why place value is important, because we could look over here at the ones and say, oh, it's the same, it's equal to, but we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we're looking at the biggest number first, and hundreds are bigger than our one spot. So I'm going to take my pen here and I'm going to circle both numbers in my hundred spot. So I have a 2 and a 3. I know that 3 is bigger than 2, so my alligator is going to want to eat my 3. So I'm going to make my alligator mouth, and he's eating my 3. And then I want to make sure that you guys know how to say this. So I'm going to say that 241 is less than 361. So it is important that we still know these names. Okay, so my next one is 149 and 151. So I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to circle my numbers in my hundreds spot first. This time my hundred spots are the same. But before I can say they are equal to, I need to now look at the 10 spot. We keep going back. And in order for that to be equal to, all of my numbers have to be the same on both sides. So now I'm going to look at my 10 spot. So I'm going to look at my 4 and I'm going to look at my 5. If I look at my 4 and I look at my 5, I know that 5 is bigger than 4. So that means my alligator is going to eat my 5. And so again, I have a less than symbol. So 149 is less than 151. All right, I'm going to have you guys try some on your own and then we'll go over them. So we have the number 681 and 681. What symbol should go right here in the middle? If you need to pause the video for a couple seconds to figure it out, you can. If you know it, you can put it in. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at my 6s and say, oh, they're both 6s. They're the same. Because I started in my 100 spot. I go to the 10s. They're both 8s. And they're the same. And then I'm going to go to my 1 spot. And they're both 1s. So this one, all of the numbers were the same. So this is going to be an equal to. And if you got an equal to, give yourself a pat on the back, give yourself some snaps, give yourself some claps, but you did it. So 681 is equal to 681. Okay, our next numbers are 452 and 352. Pause the video if you need to take a second. Figure it out. Start at our 100 spot. So if we're starting at the 100 spot, I'm going to be underlining my 4 and my 3. My alligator wants to eat the bigger number, so my alligator is going to eat my 4. When you guys get done, I want you to practice saying these too. Okay, so this one's going to be 452 is greater than 352, and that's because 452 is bigger. Okay. The next one, 814 and 850. Pause the video if you need to. If you're good, then go ahead and put your symbol in. Say it out loud. Is it going to be greater than, less than, or equal to? I'm going to show the ones that I was looking at. My 8s were the same, so I'm looking at my 1 and my 5. And so that means that 814 is less than 850. And last little practice one, we have 571 and 672. It's the same thing you guys have been doing. This time I can look at my 100 spot, and it's going to be another less than. So 571 is less than 672. Let me know if you guys have any questions.